Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. Welcome in, beloved souls. Sacred Sunday blessings. Bright beings, remember that you are a bright light in the world. My name is Amy Van Ling, and it brings me great cheer and delight and joy to be here each week with you, sharing this positive and powerful experience. I'm grateful to be in loving service as the spiritual director of this beautiful community, Unity Inspired Living, where you will discover we have a dynamic variety of thought leaders and remarkably talented musicians who share their gifts with us in so many ways on Sunday mornings. And we're so grateful that we are together activating the frequency of love on this planet and beyond, and showing up for each other and holding space for beauty and love and joy in the world. And thank you for pouring that out here and coming into this space to commune and be the light. So this month we are wrapping up our theme. What is our theme? Beyond thought. I'm going to put beyond thought. I'm going beyond thought. June's theme has been beyond thought, and clearly I'm living in that space. And so this theme has been a reminder for us that while the thoughts that we have do shape our experience, they're not the whole truth. And we believe that there is one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives, God. And when we go beyond that chatter in the mind, we align with divine mind and access that deeper truth that we talk so much about. And so that might happen through prayer, through meditation, through nature, that power of aligning with Christ consciousness, divine intelligence. We shift from just reacting to life to realizing the oneness with it. And that's the consciousness, that we move into. Yeah. So grateful to dive into this today, to this beyond thought, and wrap up our month of June. I can hardly believe we're halfway through 2025, and yet here we are. Time just feels so like sand. It's like sand through the hourglass. And so that makes it very precious. And we can remember that this moment is the moment that we have, the present moment. There's never really tomorrow because we're always in the present moment. Yes. So we're so grateful to be in this present moment today with our dear and beloved friend to our community, to each of us, Michael J. Mystic Michael J. Allen. He is a deeply, deeply heart-centered, focused being on compassion and peace and love. And we are truly so blessed and so grateful to have you here with us. Michael J. Mystic Michael J. Allen. He is a deeply, deeply heart-centered, focused being on compassion and peace and love. And we are truly so blessed and so grateful to have you here with us today, Michael J. His message for us this morning is souls know what souls are. I love this mystical feel. And the workshop, there is a workshop today, and the focus will be simple pleasures. So you can join us there immediately following our service here on Facebook live stream. And you can move into the Zoom room where everybody is welcome. And that link is on our website, unityinspiredliving.org. You'll see a picture of Beverly B and Michael J, and then the link right into the Zoom room. And please join us and invite anybody you should want to invite, because we say, come one, come all. And I will also drop the link here in the Facebook live stream chat. So that's happening today. Thank you, Michael J, for being here, for your sacred yes to us. We also have on the screen this morning Beverly B, and she is gifting us with her exceptional talent, her musical inspiration, her uh, sound healing that is just dive into it because there are really no words to describe her and the places she brings us through her music. Beverly B, incredible, joyful, sacred, soulful person, soul, being of light. Thank you for gracing us with you, with your energy and love. We are so thankful to have you with us. And we have also on our screen Nancy Pimentel, and she is with us this morning, shining her beautiful bright light, bringing her compassionate, tender heart. And she will be sharing our selected inspirational reading, our community announcements, and our prayer of plenitude. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing you with us this morning. We are truly grateful. And we welcome all of you into our sacred space here. And I invite you to take an intentional inward breath of the Spirit. You know, that is my favorite definition of inspiration. And remember that you are the face of God. And so we are going to attune into our mission statement here at Unity Inspired Living. And I invite you to create a reverent space for yourself, whatever that looks like or feels like. And know that we are here fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. And we're really so grateful to be doing this together. So I'm going to hand the screen over to Beverly B now. She has our opening song. We call it our community song. So take us away, beautiful.
Well, I was thinking about it's just what Michael was saying, and I thought this song is like a phone call to the universe. It's just an ongoing conversation. So, yeah.
Thank you, precious Beverly. I love that. A phone call to the universe. We can make a phone call to the universe, to God, anytime we want. And uh, Michael J and I were talking before we went live about phone calls and how setting aside our thoughts beyond thought about is this a good time or are you available or all of that chatter and just reach out when you feel the divine speaking to you. And I loved that we had that conversation. And so that makes so much sense that that first community song was a conversation with the universe, a continuous conversation with the universe. So thank you, Beverly B, very much for that. Thank you, Michael J, for bringing the conversation into our space. I'm going to hand the screen over to Nancy, and she has our inspirational reading this morning and community announcements. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Our announcements for today are for today and upcoming July events. Be sure to stay for the workshop after this service with Michael J. Allen, beginning at 11:30. The workshop is entitled Simple Pleasures. You do not want to miss this time to join with others as we continue to explore together. Find the Zoom link on our homepage of our unityinspiredliving.org website. All are welcome. Love offerings graciously accepted via PayPal, Zelle, or via check in the mail. Be sure to join us for our in-person service next week, this coming July 6th, in the West Island Room at the Antioch Community Center. Our guest speaker will be Father Tom Benashi. Remember to bring your recyclables and canned food and donations for the food bank to that service. Our third Saturday community gathering and potluck for July will be held Saturday, July 19th at the home of Dave and Julie Krowski in Discovery Bay. Please mark your calendars and join us for this joyful gathering from 11 to 2. 2 new ways to get involved and engage with others in the community are starting this month. The mic drop, named Memorable Moments, where you share your ahas from the speakers in the chat, and the book drop, where if you are in one of our book groups on Zoom, this is your opportunity to share an aha from the weekly discussions for all to ponder. And remember, all about how to get involved in this coming weekly connection and on our Facebook page, Unity Inspired Living. And please start thinking yard sale. Yes, it's time. Again, to start decluttering and boxing up all those things in your home and garage that are no longer serving you. Then save them for our annual sale, coming the third Saturday in September. Please stay connected with all that is going on here at Unity Inspired Living by checking in on our website, www.unityinspiredliving.org, and our Facebook page, Unity Inspired Living, and also reading our weekly connection, which comes to your email every Wednesday. And now, here is our inspirational reading for our June theme of Beyond Thought. The reading for our theme, Beyond Thought, is from the Daily Word, August 2021, and the word is protected. Through my openness with God, I feel protected. Sometimes I may feel at the mercy of a changing, tumultuous world I cannot control. This is never true. Even though the chaos of the world may swirl around me, at the center of my being is a place of perfect peace and calm. Whenever I am in need of a safe refuge, I turn to God within to reach this place of tranquility and reclaim my feeling of security and protection. The sun always rises after the longest, darkest night. I remind myself of this truth and feel grateful as I allow the light of spiritual understanding to release and reclaim whatever power I may have unwittingly given to a fear-based thought. Fully in tune with the divine presence within me, I move safely and confidently through every challenging circumstance. From John 4:4, the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. Thank you.
Very powerful reading.
Okay.
To always remember that, what is the other quote about? The sun is always shining above the clouds. Sometimes that just bringing our minds back to focus there, that what appears here may not be the full story, usually is not the full story, the divine story. So thank you, Nancy, for you and for all the announcements we have going on right now. We appreciate you. I'm going to hand the screen back over to Beverly B. She has more musical magic for us, some downloads from the divine.
Nancy, thank you so much for sharing. And this particular download is actually one that I do remember. I don't remember the songs that get downloaded, but as you were speaking, I'm being told that this is the one that I have to play. This is my personal go-to song when things are just out of control, and I need for the universe, the creators of the universe to let me know that everything is going to be okay. And so as you're saying, greater is he, that just resonated with me so much. So, yeah. All right.
Beverly, is that one you used to play in Clubhouse a lot? Yes. So we were just talking about this morning too. That's how I met Beverly B was in Clubhouse during COVID, the very beginning. And she used to run this, or she still does run this room, but I haven't been there in a long time, on Clubhouse, those of you who are familiar. And she would play this magical music that she plays. That's how she resonated so deeply with me. And that's why she's here. And at the time I had a cat. And every time in that particular song you played, if he was sleeping on the bed or something, he would wake up and come and want to be in my lap. And I just remember that. I remember that song. Thank you for sharing it
That is
here.
so. I thank you for sharing that because I just really quickly when I had my Facebook before COVID, I was on Facebook for 3 years straight, and I didn't realize that I ended all my Facebooks with this song until I think maybe a year or 2 years later when I looked at my archive and I thought, wait a minute, oh, that's the same song. So that
Yeah.
song, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I heard you start playing, it's like, I
Yeah,
know
this
that
is the
song.
one that I actually remember. It's the only one. Everything else, I have no
I know it's
idea.
always a download, just, yeah, spontaneous. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to us this morning. I'm grateful. I know we all are grateful. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen back over to Nancy. She has our prosperity blessing this morning. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you. I invite you to join me now as we move into a space of oneness with Spirit. We quiet our minds and open to the great realization of an abundant universe. We connect with an inner stillness that is grounded in the divine flow of giving and receiving. We practice gratitude for all that life gives us and accept there is more coming our way. We align and operate from our divine nature to give freely from a compassionate heart to ourselves and others, assured we are never void. We set our intention to engage in right action that attracts opportunities to prosper. We are each a very grateful spirit expanding in this human life. We are gratefully succeeding and stepping forward into greater good. And so it is. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Stepping forward into greater good. I was searching through something this morning and saw one of the last messages Michael J sent me on email, and it said something wonderful is happening. I thought, yes, something wonderful is happening. It feels in the same vibration. Thank you, Nancy. We are so grateful for you. Okay, I'm going to hand the screen back over to Beverly B for our last song this morning.
All right. Lost my headphones there. Hold on. So I can hear you. There you are. All right.
Thank you, beloved. We are so grateful for you and the magic you bring to us, the mystical magic. Thank you, Nancy and Beverly B, for opening our space. Just want to mention again that you can find Beverly B on YouTube, Facebook, Clubhouse. Are you on Instagram also?
I am posting on Instagram. I'm actually on TikTok. I'm everywhere. Just type in Beverly B Music and you'll find me all together.
Yes,
Yeah.
Beverly B is no space together.
Yeah.
Beverly
And
B
the
together.
music, Beverly B Music, and you'll find
Music.
me.
Yay. Well, thank you for saying yes to us
You're
and
welcome.
bringing your
Thank you.
spirit to us. And Nancy, thank you for you. Thank you for being such the pillar of our community. And Nancy, there are no words for Nancy. She does so much behind the scenes that nobody sees, but I do. And I am so grateful for you, beloved. Thank you both for activating our space with love this
Thank
morning
you.
and bringing us to this high vibration so we can dive in to Michael J's talk. Mwah! Blessings.
Peace and
I love
blessings
you
to
both
you.
dearly. I'll see you on this side of the
All
screen.
right.
Yay! I am here with the Mystic Mike. I am thrilled, if you can't tell. For those of you who are getting to know Michael J. Allen, I'm going to read you just a little bit about him. Michael is an inspirational speaker, life coach, and development consultant at Agape and an Agape licensed practitioner. He has worked in social service environments, middle and high schools with incarcerated men, women, and juvenile teens. And I read that quickly, but if you really think about all of that, it's huge. It's huge. He is also the founder of the 1 Foot Journey Coaching. The focus of the work is to become the master of the keys of emotional intelligence that support universal principle and law. These keys allow you to discover who you truly are from the inside out and discover what's yours to do here, which means this work applies to all human beings. And the work is not new work, and it's yours to do if you choose. Michael's vision for his life is to be a loving presence for the evolution of humanity. And that is quite a vision, and he lives that vision and mission, I would say, every day of his life. And we are so grateful that you say yes to us and that you're here to share your soul with us. I'm going to pray us into the space and hand the screen over to Michael J. This morning so we can dive into soul talk. That's what I love. That's all I love is soul talk. So uh we begin in gratitude for this day, for this breath, for this beautiful community. We're thankful for the opportunity to be still together, to listen deeply to the divine within and beyond us. We recognize that there is only one life, one infinite spirit moving in all things and present in every now moment, in every breath. This life is our life. We get to choose. We get to do the work if we choose, as Michael J. would say. We are divine expressions of the one perfect, whole, complete. And we rest beyond thoughts in that spaciousness of silence where peace and clarity dwell. We bless Michael J. today, knowing that his words are divinely guided and his message meets us exactly where we are. We give thanks for the power of God's presence, for the love in this room, in this space and consciousness, for the truth that reveals itself. And we release this prayer into the law of love, the great expanse of infinite possibility, and we let it be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Namaste. Thank you, Michael J., for you, the gift of you.
You're welcome. And let's just continue with gratitude. It starts with being grateful. You don't have to have a lot of words. You just start to recognize that you're grateful that you noticed your voice. You're grateful that you noticed your breath. You're grateful that you opened your eyes and you felt better. You're grateful when you call for joy and all of a sudden joy surrounds you. You're grateful when you see acts of kindness. The frequency of gratitude hits you and you see and feel more and more of it because you call it forth. It's the first thing on your heart is to be grateful. So say yes to gratitude before you do anything. Say yes to gratitude. And from the feeling tones of gratitude, I appreciate that there is an incredible intelligence that is greater than the collective minds of humanity that governs this universe. And if I surrender to it, it divinely takes care of me. And it divinely takes care of you. We're all made from the same intelligence. with individual, unique expressions of life, reflecting the intelligence back to itself. And it's hard for us to see the intelligence within other beings because we're looking at the human experience. We're looking at the human result. We're looking at their style and whatever their personality is. But like Amy said earlier, what's behind that? The real you is behind that. Now let's realize this incredible part of us, or this experience about us. Once we accept that we are created by intelligence and we allow ourselves to embody and unify with that intelligence of of order and balance in the universe, that intelligence of the magnetic energy of the sun and the earth sticking together like boyfriend girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? It's some incredible things happening for you and I to sit in this moment and say life is amazing. And if we can take life to amazing, we raise our frequency. We don't have to know how. But I want to introduce the part of me that is my superhero, my Oscar, my greatest epic dream come true. Many times we have said that we're all eternal souls and we're all unique expressions of life, of God, and everything is within us. But I got to tell you, for a long time, my ego said, yeah, that's right. I'm in charge. And when the ego's in charge, it's very clever in taking away your responsibility to yourself because it's very persuasive. So you have to tame that part of your mind. You have to tame that part of your thought process. Just like you would a scared baby, you simply look at your ego and say, don't worry, I got this. You don't have to explain a bunch of things to your ego. Just say, hey, 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 calm down, I got this. And that's you recognizing that the greatest power within you is your relationship to your eternal soul. You've never died. You've never been harmed. You've always been right as a soul. You've always been so directly connected that God feeling can come directly from your soul and you not even know it. We are on the right hand of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? We have the greatest parent in the world, the creator of our intelligence, the creator of our heart, the creator of our ability to mirror and reflect that out into the world. Isn't that fascinating to you? All from your soul. Because human beings in limited thinking don't think like this. They think about how, what do I do? Oh my God, I don't like this. This doesn't work. You got to think like your soul. My invitation. So when I want to think like my soul, I go right to gratitude. And I, from there, allow myself to forgive myself for whatever I may have done unconsciously or consciously that didn't have impact on the revolution of humanity. I let that go. And then I forgive myself for all the times I've judged myself for the way I looked or talked or walked, or the way I didn't look or talk or walk. But these unconscious, subtle judgments, they take jabs at this powerful energy inside of you that just wants to be the experience of love radiating as your light. But it's kind of hard for humans to do that because we put so many conditions on love. When we start to express love, if you mess up any of the conditions, we stop our love. But your soul never stops loving you. You can't do it wrong in front of your soul, with your soul, as your soul. So what I've learned to do is to clean up my side of the road by taking off the mask, by letting my vulnerability lead. Now, I'm not vulnerable because I'm scared. I'm vulnerable because I'm letting go, and I'm not mastering control anymore. I'm going to let the universe, let intelligence, let the frequency and the vibration that needs to be expressed as a divine expression of God take over my life. So when I've had conversations that didn't support the power of my soul, I would sit with my soul, and I'd sit in front of my soul, and I go, you or me, and I could have showed up better. I could have been more loving, more patient. I could have completely been non-judgmental. I dropped my awareness on my ego. My ego snuck in there and did all kinds of crazy stuff. And all of a sudden I thought something was happening to me. That's how I know my ego's like taking over. I have these thoughts like, oh, this is happening, when that's not true. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. My soul would never respond like that. It would never react like that. My soul would simply go, that too. My soul has never taken anything personal. The human egoic Michael has, but my soul has never taken things personal. My soul has never blamed anyone. My soul has never judged anyone. My soul knows that it's always right there in the presence of God. And my soul is so in love with me, I don't have to wonder or guess that. My soul completely accepts and loves me unconditionally. See, we all have a soul that completely and absolutely feels and vibrates this way, but we don't turn and look at it and go, you're me. This is the high experience and vibration of me. Thank you for radiating your intelligence and your eternal power into my energy. I love you. And then you commit to continue to surrender and continue to let go. You don't just let go of the good. You don't just let go of the bad. You let everything go, because every moment is a brand new moment. And if you hold on to things, you keep hanging on to some image of the past, even if it was 2 minutes ago. And the energy just responds. If you grab it and hold on to it, the law says, hang on. And before you know it, you've hung on to so many things unconsciously that your energy gets a little heavy, and you're wondering why your mood changes. And why does life feel so heavy? Because the ego finds a way to hang on to things that you do not need, that do not serve you, that do not fulfill you or lift you up. And the best way to respond to that is to sit in front of your soul and say, soul, help me here. I love my ego. I created my ego. And I simply want to love my ego into its highest frequency for me. I give my compassion and my empathy to my ego. It's just trying to survive. And the more I do that, the more I realize there's nothing to survive. And if I weren't focusing on fixing, surviving, what would my soul be focused on? Well, this gets real exciting for me. My soul is focused on my imagination. My soul is focused on, if my little kid were designing my life today through all the healing I've done emotionally, my little kid would own its own Disneyland. My little kid would have tons of friends around it that just are in love and joy and friendship and fun and support and safety of each other. My imagination is the screen of creation, experience itself in love and joy. That's my imagination. So all the things that I've healed in my life, the patterns of behavior and the relationships, they're all different movies in my life now. Oh, this one taught me how to really let go. Oh, this one taught me to forgive on a deeper level. Well, this one taught me to make sure that shame and blame is no longer in my consciousness, because shame and blame doesn't live there. And as I clean up these entitled beliefs about how the world has been to me, I don't grow. I magnify what I'm victim of. So I go sit with my soul and I say, show me what I need to let go of? Or would you be willing to just take it from me? And within seconds, it's gone. I had a beautiful experience this morning. I got to share it. I live in this beautiful basement apartment, and this lady planted all these beautiful flowers, and my windows come up to the flower beds. So when I open the windows, I see the flowers looking out my window first, because I'm below the ground. And this morning I got up and I was on my way to have some coffee and to really just get excited about being able to sit here and talk in soul consciousness with you guys. And this lady was walking in front of me and she was coming down the steps. So I opened the door for her and I waited for her to come down the steps. And there was a package on the floor. And she says, wow, there's a package there. I said, yeah, it's been here a couple days, you know? So I picked it up and she says, can you read it? And I laughed because, I brought my glasses to make sure if I needed them, I'd have them. But anyway, I read it and she knows the person who the package belongs to. And I set the package down and she walked out and I was walking behind her. And just as I was getting to the corner, she turned and walked toward the flowers. And I stopped and I went, wow, did you plant all these flowers? And she says, yes. And I says, I am so grateful. I appreciate the beauty you planted around my windows. She was very thankful for that. And I went on my way. But here's the beauty of the story. I sat looking at those flowers a day or two ago, just feeling the gratitude of someone taking the time to do that. And I remember it was a lady, and I didn't think it was one of the gardeners. So I imagined in my mind, it says, so I would love to find a way to give gratitude to this lady for the beauty she placed right before my eyes when I opened my window. So I thought about writing her a letter and giving it to the management so that she would get a thank you letter. But Spirit put that lady right in my face the next morning. When I tell you something wonderful is happening, Amy, something wonderful is always happening. I may not have the psychic ability to figure it out, but I have the presence of mind to recognize it when it happens. I love this intelligence that takes care of this universe. I love this intelligence that lives in my soul. I love this intelligence that we are all waking up to. I love the absolute infinite ways that this intelligence can lift you up simply by asking. Infinite ways. This intelligence will never pull you down. It will be pulling itself down. It won't happen. Souls know what souls need. Souls need to be with other souls. Souls need to support other souls. This is our highest intelligence within ourselves. We've seen how human beings have a little hard time trying to support each other, even when they want the same thing. You would never have that conflict if all human beings walked out in their day and said, I'm looking for the soul presence in everyone I see. I don't have to greet them. I just have to let them know I see you. I see your soul. I don't see the color of your skin, the gender that you live by. I see that you are another living, infinite, unlimited creative expression of God. So now I love looking beyond my worldly automatic judgments. And I look and I say, what a unique expression of God. Not because of their fashion or what they're wearing, but because they're alive in this moment with me. So what you look like doesn't determine whether or not I see you as God. The fact that you are alive, you are God. Because if you were dead, you'd be in the ground and I wouldn't be looking at you. So let's acknowledge the God that's alive, the God that's alive in front of us. That's an eternal soul that wants to be our buddy, that wants to play with us. Souls are not going to find themselves in limiting emotional conflicts. Souls are not going to find themselves in not willing to raise the love vibration in the presence. Souls are not going to be limiting in any way. They're not going to get in the way because it's your way, it's your will. But once you enroll your soul for the highest frequency of love, kindness, joy, love, and happiness, your soul's all in. You don't need a lesson for the qualities of God you want to express. You don't need a lesson. Just tell your soul, it's time to be so appreciative. I don't even know how to do that, but it's time to be so appreciative. I want appreciation right now. I am appreciation right now. It's not something you need to even want. Just be it. I'm being open to love like I've never been open to love before. I'm pure love. You don't have to pay for that. You just summons it to your soul. It automatically gets downloaded. Nobody's going to tax you, charge you, or tell you got to make a payment every month. And you'll be fulfilling yourself with the greatest power, the greatest intelligence, the greatest desires you could ever imagine for yourself. You are an expression of God. You are a creative, eternal, powerful, loving, amazing soul. I have a story I want to tell if you come to the workshop. I'm excited about it. I wrote it years ago. It's like a kid's story, but it's still my today's story. But it has been exciting. So if you make it to the workshop, I'm gonna tell a short story, and the story isn't just about me. It's about every living thing. But I will identify myself so you don't, you know, miss me in the journey. I thank you all once again. Let's end in this moment, just this moment, with gratitude and appreciation. You're a powerful soul being, so you don't have to go up to people and make sure they get your sincere gratitude and your sincere appreciation. You can stand on the street corner and be the experience of appreciation and direct it toward that soul. They'll get it. Wi-Fi can't mess that up. It's a wavelength. It's a particle. It came from a God experience. It may not have your name on it when they receive it, but they receive it. And every time you give a high quality, a high frequency energy to something in the world, you get magnified first. You get magnified first when you let go. You get magnified first when you surrender. You get magnified first when you smile instead of frown. You get magnified first when you say to yourself, I'm completely and absolutely open to an experience I've never had before that touches the souls of all beings that walk in my path today. I don't need to know what that looks like. I'm looking forward to what it feels like, though. Let it go. Souls are intelligent. They're powerful. They're incredibly loving. They're uplifting. And every human being on the planet has one. So I want to see the world as a world of souls, not a world of scared human beings, but a world of souls. Now, you don't have to go out trying to empower anybody. You don't. You just have to look at the world and call it what it is. It's filled with unique beings who are connected to the same intelligence you are. And you can send a frequency of acknowledgement by simply directing your attention and love to them, recognizing that they are a unique expression of God. They don't have to earn that. That is the truth. Now, the more you say that about yourself, the easier it will be to say that about other people. I mean, when you look at the mirror and before me, when I look at the mirror and I go, oh, I got a brush, I should shave today, first thing I say is, wow, I'm not standing here all alone. I'm standing here with some intelligence directing me. That stops me from being automatic. When I stop and go, wow, there's something wonderful right now in this moment. Not because I need it or want it, but because it's true. Something wonderful is always happening in every moment. And for that, I'm grateful and I appreciate when that wonderfulness flows right with me. Souls know what souls need. Souls know who souls are. I challenge you to see the soul in you and know that when you're talking to your soul, you are talking to you. That's not some other personality. You are talking to you. And when you see other people, male, female, young, old, souls are sacred. So if you see the soul, you see the sacredness in the creation that God has in that being. Just like you look at flowers, just like you look at little babies, just like you look at beautiful environments. It's the same frequency of appreciation and love. Hmm. My answer to every challenge in my life is follow the breath. And when I allow myself to follow the breath, I let go of how. I let go of the comparison and the judgment. I let go of my little kid, my insecure thinking that I did something wrong. I'm not going to be loved. Those are automatic things that just pop into your mind because your ego is like, what's going on? What are you doing? Why is that happening? Because souls, they change all the time. They don't have patterns. Souls don't have patterns of behavior. They have intelligence and truth and power and magic and compassion. You don't have to know how. Just desire to be that frequency and let go of whether or not you deserve it. Go to your imagination and imagine the many different ways you could receive it. Not what's happening, but what you're creating. That's what souls focus on. They focus on what you're creating. The moment you start talking about what happened, your soul goes, compassion, empathy. They will get through it. And if you really surrender to your soul will simply say to you, you're getting through this. Greatest coach on the planet is your soul. That's the greatest coach on the planet, right next to God. Come on. Ah. And everyone who recognizes you as a soul, they're the best team player. If we start looking at people as souls, we want to lift them up and fulfill them and recognize their sacredness. They're souls. They're eternal. We have these intelligent beings on the planet who are never going to die. Now they're going to leave that body because some of these bodies are restricted. You know what I'm saying? So souls are going to leave those bodies. But from the intelligence and wisdom of my mom, I remember asking her a question at 8 years old. She was in the kitchen cooking, getting dinner prepared, and I'd come from my hideout, my bedroom, and I came out and I said, Mom, I want to ask you a question. And my mom said, she got a little excited. She loved that you want to ask her questions. And she said, sure, go ahead. I said, Mom, where do you go when you die? I'm 8 years old. And I've seen the Baptist church, the Methodist church, and the other big churches in my community, but they all say some different stuff about dying. You know what I mean? It's not always the same thing. So my mom had a smile on her face and she turned her head and she says, I believe you go back to that place you were before you were born. I still feel the incredible rattles in my body. I feel the curiosity just explode. And I didn't have any more questions. I wanted to go figure that out. No one ever dies. We just go back to that place we were before we were born. There's wisdom everywhere. There's wisdom in your trauma. Find the wisdom in your trauma, and you'll find a higher frequency and vibration of who you truly are. Wisdom heals.
Hey, beloved. I thought about 10 minutes ago you were starting to wrap it up, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, a whole presence came in. There's so much to unpack in this talk, which is why we have the workshop happening. Wow. So we've been doing something called mic drop, where we're keeping track of like these moments, these nuggets of like gold, and the moments that something said that stops us in our tracks. And the whole like talk, I didn't have my regular pad. I just had my little last hotel thing. I used like 5 pages taking notes from today. And wow. The greatest coach on the planet is your soul next to God, and everyone who recognized you as a soul is your team player. Boom. We go back to the place we were before we were born, and that sparked curiosity. And staying in that curiosity, I mean, staying in curiosity is the wisdom. You said, find the wisdom in your trauma. What a profound statement that is. Because the trauma is a buzzword right now. I mean, it has been for some time, but it's kind of the word. And what do we do with trauma? Right? And there's so much trauma, and everybody has, their experience of trauma. And how profound yet simple you made this. Find the wisdom in your trauma.
Well, here's something very hard for us to accept. And if you come to the workshop, this is what the workshop is about. You had a divine plan when you came to this planet before you got into that body. And if you're willing to take 100% responsibility for everything you planned before you took physical form, you will free yourself.
Amen.
But if you keep blaming what happened in the world, you'll keep incarcerating yourself. Because the same mind that incarcerates you is the same mind that can free you.
Absolutely, indeed. Truth. That's right. That is exactly right. And then how you began today was in gratitude. I was having a conversation the other day with a friend, and some things are happening there that aren't fair, and I said, well, I for one can say, yeah, life isn't fair. And yet, what you just said says it all. If you keep coming back to there is a plan. There is a plan here unfolding, and something wonderful is happening, regardless of what our thoughts want to say, it looks like. And we come back to, what did you say right as we started? Say yes to gratitude. And from the feeling tone of gratitude and appreciation, what emerges from there? And then you said, if I surrender, divinely, I'm taken care of. There's so many profound points that you made today, and so important in this body that we live in. Our souls inhabit this human experience. And so when we see, you said, when we see a world of souls and not scared human beings, everything shifts. Yes, sir.
Amy, you have traveled this country and other parts of the world, maybe.
Mhm.
And when you're sitting in these airports and train stations and you see all the hustle and bustle and the movement of people, don't you feel the fear?
Mhm. Yeah. I call it frenetic energy. I'm
Yeah,
very, yeah, when you're very in tune to that, yeah, it can be.
yeah.
And find the soul. You spoke so much about this today. It's like, take us to church, Michael J. We have gone to church today. If you see the soul, you're seeing God. And this is what we talk about when we say you're the face of God. I know sometimes that's like words that are hard to grasp for some people, but this is what we're talking about. The soul. You said souls know what souls need. Souls know who souls are. Souls need to be with other souls. Souls need the support of other souls. I'm looking for the soul presence. And I love this that you said. This is very important. Kind of shifting gears, but still on the same subject matter here. You don't need a lesson. I'm opening up to love. I summon it. Like, it's not like I need to have some hard, painful lesson to learn, right? I just say, hey, here I am. You said you get, what did you say? I can't even read my writing. You get magnified first when you let go, when you surrender. And you said something here that made me think of something we talked about sometime in the month about smiles. You said smiles instead of frowns. And somebody said, I believe it was last week, smiles, seeing miracles in life every second. I love that. I love that acronym for smiles. Wow. Okay, let me check into our feed here. I know that Carol, you have taken excellent notes for us. Thank you for that. Beverly B is here and she says, love it. The greatest coach is my soul. I can stop sending money, spending money. Oh, we love you. Carol says your souls are the greatest coach. I think we all made that a mic drop. Yep. That was an impactful one. Oh, is my feed not working here? Let me come back in here and see. Is my feed rolling? Do you see anything else in the feed, Michael J? I don't feel like mine froze. Oh, here we go, I think. Beverly B says, wow moment. Yes, I know. We had a lot of wow moments today. Mic drop moments. Find the wisdom in your trauma. Yes, indeed. Pat says, and vice versa. It's also in you. When you see it in yourself, you will see it in others. Sonia says, it's the same mind that incarcerates you that can free you. That is a mic drop. Yes, indeed, my lady. Wow, we will need to listen to this again to absorb all the profound aha moments. I truly appreciate what you said about trauma and move on. Yeah, and that's not to say not to feel your feelings and to have your experience. We're not minimizing that. We're just saying, yeah, feel it and then make a decision what you do with it. You said ego is persuasive. Think like my soul, go right to gratitude. I love this part that you talked about vulnerability. You said I'm not vulnerable because I'm scared. I'm vulnerable because I'm expressing God. I'm paraphrasing. I couldn't write as fast as you were downloading, but something in that tone of like, I am I'm letting God lead. I am opening up my vulnerability because I'm sharing that tender space.
I'm,
And
I'm surrendering to the unknown.
yeah, yeah, and
And,
that
and
is vulnerable.
and the unknown says, well, you have a a free will. You can choose and do whatever you want at any time in your life. And your ego says, don't give that up, dude. You got to go to Vegas with that. You know what I'm saying? So now we're in control, but the creator has all the power.
Mm-hmm.
We can be in control of our life with no power.
Mm-hmm.
You feel
Jeez.
powerless when things aren't going your way. That's because you want things to go your way. Simple as that is, if you want them to go your way, then what you want to go your way comes from being in God's presence, and surrender of self and desire, letting go of all filth, all doubt, all worry. If you really believe God is source, what can move you? If your mind is in alignment with your heart and you believe God is source and heart and mind is inside of you, that's better than the lottery.
And that's where we know something wonderful is
Happening.
Yes, sir. Boy, oh boy, this was rich is an understatement. I love that you said this, talking about souls know what souls are, who souls are. Souls don't have patterns of behavior. They have intelligence and truth.
True.
I just want to touch on that for a minute because, especially as a person who I'm very cognizant of patterns of behavior and watching people, and so I don't want to, as someone who can overlook a lot and always see the soul, because I can, and I know you can too. It's not to say, dismiss abusive behavior and this type of thing. When it's in close proximity to your life. But yet understanding that what you see as a pattern of behavior is not the soul.
Right. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You get it. Not at
Yeah,
all. Your soul
not
would
at all.
never hurt another soul.
No.
Your soul would
And
never
then,
justify hurting someone.
yeah.
So if you are a human being and you want to justify hurting someone verbally, mentally, emotionally, and physically, okay, you're a little out of the flow. You're far away from God. Why would God ever want to hurt itself in any way?
Or create division in any way also,
Right, exactly.
not being part of the create remembering of when, like I feel like when we show up as to remind each other, when we say namaste, it's the light in me sees the light in you, not like how are we going to see the difference and find separation and say you're wrong and bad and whatever.
Imagine this. And this was advice given to me by the man who married me in my last marriage. And that's the first time someone had ever sat and said to me and my partner that we have three chairs because that's the unknown. That's the ally. Now, I understood that, but my wife didn't. There's so many conversations that could solve a whole lot of emotional confusion if people start to really take responsibility for what they believe about themselves and the world, in addition to their religion. See, if I know what you believe, I can hold you in that.
Yeah.
I have an idea of what you are living through. But if I never know what you think and feel and what runs the internal thoughts of your ideas, I don't know you. I don't know you.
It's a blueprint, really. And this is
Right.
interesting because we kind of talked about this back at Valentine's Day about relationships, and it was really startling for me to hear the numbers, and I don't remember what the percentage is now, but the majority of people come into relationship with a war blueprint, a right and wrong battle, me against you, versus a dance blueprint or some kind of he named all different sorts of analogies that you could metaphors that you could take into the relationship but war, like battle against you, was the main one that people come. It's so interesting because that if that's your blueprint, but you got to go back. You got to go through the layers to find where that was created and how to create something different and come at it from a place of like, we're a team, team. I think that was one of the options that you could come into the relationship as a team. As you're having a dance, there were a whole bunch that were very cool, but war was very interesting to kind of connect this to seeing the soul. When you see the soul, you're communicating differently. You're in a different vibration entirely to exchange information.
It's important to understand that your eternal soul is not physical,
Right.
not in any way.
Mm-mm.
It's eternal God intelligence that is not limited to this universe.
Mm-mm.
So, we get caught up in little conversations that only relate to the small-minded thoughts of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates a whole lot of drama because everybody feels like they're being attacked when we keep our minds and thoughts so small-minded. It's like
Right.
that
Yeah,
law
if you
only
keep
works for the person who was mad and made it.
right.
It doesn't
Here,
work for the
here,
community or the
here,
environment.
here.
And you get to choose whatever you want, but
If you take that kind of there's a relationship coach on Instagram that I follow, and he talks about, when the other is being activated or something's going on, there's some kind of upset. If you look at it like, oh, that's just the scared child versus this is another adult trying to attack me, it's a whole, and it's kind of like he's saying, like, look at their soul in a way, and you can operate from a different vantage point from there and create something completely different than if you're like, they're attacking me, now I'm going to attack back. That's not going to turn out well. That's usually the drama piece you're going to talk about here. So wow, okay, so we've unpacked a lot, and I know there's tremendous more to unpack, and we're going to do that in the workshop. And Michael J has a story to tell us. I can't wait to hear. So I'm going to drop the link here in our feed. It's also on our homepage, unityinspiredliving.org. Please meet us over there in a little less than 15 minutes. Hydrate, nourish yourselves, maybe grab anything else anybody should know to bring to the workshop? Pen, pad, anything like this? Or just presence?
how about an intention?
Ah,
Bring your intention to create heart-mind coherence.
mm,
And
love
if
it.
you just start with a little bit of that from what we're going to talk about,
Mhm.
you will absolutely manage your nervous system.
Mm,
When you manage your nervous system, you think clearly.
yeah.
You feel the alignment of thought and feeling. You feel more powerful, more confident. You have
Hmm.
more courage. Find
Yeah.
your heart mind coherence.
Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, you said earlier something like you don't have to know how to do this. You just allow. And there's a part in the Course in Miracles that says, just a little bit of willingness is all you need.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I know everybody else is too. If you feel refreshed, restored, had a great remembering today, and you feel grateful for this community, I invite you to visit our giving page on our website. This energetic exchange enables us to continue our mission here, which we love to do, and offer support, love, joy, compassion to the world. And so thank you for your generous donations to us, because we are 100% supported by those. And we thank you for your conscious giving. We exist because of you. So thank you. Thank you. We are going to close with the prayer of divine awakening, and then I will see you in the Zoom room with Michael J. Michael J. Allen, we love you. Thank you for being you, for speaking truth, for letting the download come through. I think it is on the screen, and so I invite you to make this your own. The prayer of divine awakening. It's a new day, a beautiful day, a new beginning. I embrace this day with new eyes, an open heart, and expansive mind. I choose my vibrational frequency deliberately and consciously, harmonizing with
With
life's events. I am receptive
to
to source energy,
divine guidance
divine guidance, and wisdom
at all times.
available to me at all times.
Commit to serve
I
unconditional love fully and
and
completely.
completely. I
I
move
move
forward
forward
in a
in a
state
state of
of
appreciation
appreciation and
and
extension
praising
of the
of the one
one
magnificent
magnificent power and presence.
presence.
I am
I am
sovereign,
someone
whole,
who
and free,
is
claiming dominion over my
living
life
over life
as I
as
go in peace
peace
and
from
awaken to my
my
divinity.
identity.
And so it is. Ashe, beloveds, shine on, bright ones. We will see you in the workshop in just a few minutes, and next week in person with Father Tom in Antioch. Mwah. Blessings, bright ones. Love you all dearly. Thank you, Michael J.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure and a gift.